Hi, I want to introduce you to the web work system that we're going to use for homework and tests in this course. You'll get the URL of a page like this one from your instructor in some way, by an email or by course materials posted somewhere. And when you go to that URL, you'll see a page very much like this one. It'll probably say something like instructor's name and then the course number and then the semester, like spring 2021 or whatever. When you get here, you want to log in. I'm going to log in with my Radford user ID. So I'm going to be J Spicoli. And then the password. My password is always going to be the last 6 digits of my Radford user ID. Okay. When I log in, I'm going to land on this homework sets page, right, which lists all of the homework sets assigned to me. The only active one right here is the WebWork intro. That's the one I'm going to go over now. And you can see that it's open. It says open over here. It's open. And because it's open, it gives you the due date. Of course, it's not due for 10 years because there's no reason for it to be due earlier. When a homework set is not active, the link will not be active, right? When the homework set's not open, and it'll tell you when that homework set is due to open. And down at the bottom, if you're assigned any tests or quizzes, there will be links to them at the bottom. Okay, let's go into this WebWork intro assignment. And you can see what it looks like here. All the homework sets are listed over here. Of course, most of them are closed right now. Homework set name, list of problems, right, and so on and so forth. This says download PDF and so on, but I don't recommend that. Downloading these, just to the copies that you get are just not very good. It's better to just put them up online. And if you need a hard copy, take a screenshot and print it. Okay, let me talk about what these numbers represent. For problem 1, I have attempted it 0 times. I have unlimited attempts remaining, so I can do this problem as many times as I want. It's worth 1 point. Almost all the problems are worth 1 point. And my status is 0%. That is, my current grade on this is 0%. Problem 2, all the same, except right here it says attempts remaining is 2. Right? So I've attempted it 0 times, and there I have 2 remaining, meaning the maximum number of times I can attempt this problem altogether is 2. Okay, let's click on problem 1, see what it looks like. Problem 1, okay, here's what the page looks like. It says problem 1, blah, blah, blah. There are previous and next buttons. Of course, there are previous buttons not active right now. Next button would bring me to the next problem if I clicked it. Right? And then I could hit previous to go back. The amount of the problem is worth is listed there. That'll nearly always be 1 point. The problem itself, it says I can earn partial credit, and that's because there are 2 answer blanks, and they're each worth 50% of the credit for the whole problem. Preview button and submit answers button. The preview button will do you very little good in this class. It's much more useful in classes where you can enter complicated answers. It tells me how many times I've attempted the problem and how many attempts I have remaining. And down at the bottom here, a very important button, email your instructor. This is the way you should ask your instructor questions about particular problems, is go to the problem and click the email your instructor button. And that is because most of these problems, nearly all these problems, have some random component. Like if you went into this problem, you might not see that number 237.65. You might see an entirely different number. And the only way your instructor is going to see the exact problem that you see is if you email him or her using this button. Okay, so let's do the problem. The number 237.65 is written in scientific notation as, well, if you don't know, you very soon will, because this is the first section of the course. So to write something in scientific notation, I'm going to put in the first blank here, a number between 1 and 10, and then in the second blank, the correct power of 10. To get myself a number between 1 and 10, I'm going to move this decimal point just to the right of the first significant digit there. That's the 2. So I'm going to end up with 2.3765. And now I need a power of 10 that will move the decimal point back to where it was, and that's 2. Okay, now I'm going to click Submit Answers and see if I got this right. Ah, yes, I did. I love that little green tag there. Your answer is correct, right? All the parts. If it weren't, it might say something like, at least one part of this and these answers is not correct, or something like that. If you look down here, if it weren't correct, meanwhile, I wouldn't have to go back to try the problem again. The problem is repeated here, so I can just keep entering wrong answers as many times as I like. Down here, it tells me my score was recorded, how many times I attempted, so on, and also that I have unlimited attempts remaining. Okay, let's go to problem 2. This is the problem that we only had 2 chances at. Now, in such problems, it ought to say something like this. You have only 2 chances at this problem. It doesn't have to. Your instructor or whoever wrote the problem needs to remember to put something like that in. But you can always find out from the homework sets page anyway, so it's okay. Well, let's do this problem. This is a multiple choice problem. As you can see, the slope of the line with the equation, that thing, is, well, you might remember this, but if you don't, you soon will find out that the slope of the equation, the slope of a line using this form of the equation is the coefficient of x. So that's -5 here. So I click -5, submit, and once again, I'm right. Okay. Now I'll go on to the next problem. Click. And here, Kathy makes a deposit of $2,100 into an account that pays 4.5% simple interest. It should say simple annual interest there. If no other deposits or withdrawals are made, how much is in the account 9 years later? Round your answer to the nearest cent. Okay, 2 things here about entering answers. First of all, when you enter a number for money or for a percentage or something like that, you don't want to enter $signs or commas or percent signs, just the number. Okay, second, it says here round to the nearest cent. If a problem tells you to round your answer, you need to round your answer. Right? And then you need to round it to exactly what the problem tells you to round it to. Otherwise, you'll get marked wrong. Okay, so the answer here, I have no idea what it is. I'm going to say 3214.13. Right? I know that's probably wrong because I haven't worked the problem. But I'm going to submit it anyway so we can see what happens when you get one wrong. All right, here it is. Right? Shows me what I entered and then says not correct. Alas. And if I wanted, I could just do the problem again here and click submit and so on. Okay, my score was recorded. I've attempted it once. I have a 0. My overall score on it is 0, but I have unlimited attempts remaining. All right, that's about it for doing problems. Let me show you how to get your grades. Click on this grades link over on the left. Here I am. You can see I've got all kinds of things assigned to me. Okay. I can go down and find web work intro in the list. Right. And I'm going to go back up here so that I can see the titles of these second and third columns, score and out of. Right. So on the web work intro set, I have a score of 2 out of 3. Right. How to read these numbers right here, these symbols right here. When you have a C and a green box, it means complete and correct. You've got a 100% on that problem. So I've got 100% on each of the first 2. I have a 0 on the third problem. Also, this second row of numbers here, the 2 zeros and then the 1 on the bottom, this is the number of incorrect answers I have entered while working the problem. Right? I entered no incorrect answers for either of the first 2 and 1 incorrect answer for the third one. Now, your grade does not depend in any way on the number of times you try a problem. And it does not matter to your grade. What it's useful for is for instructors to see where students are having problems. If an awful lot of students seem to be taking, 10 or 15 attempts to solve a problem, then probably the instructor should add more examples of how to do that kind of problem or discuss that type of problem more. Okay, I think that's all you need. When you're done, you can click log out, and that's about it. Good luck.